Right, and the last thing on our agenda is discussion on Board Policy 5010, the parent notification policy. Candy, would you like to start discussion since this was your idea to bring it up for a discussion?
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't attach the policy so that the public could see what policy we're talking about. I know we know what policy, but...
Because it's just for discussion, right?
Well, you have a policy 5010 notification there, so it's referring to 5010. I know that public would like to have seen what policy it is we're talking about. At any rate, I think we should have attached it, but we have no excuse not to have a parent notification policy. I've mentioned before, on September 9 of 2024, the Superior Court of California, County of San Bernardino, issued a ruling in California versus Chino Valley Unified School District in a case regarding the district's parental notification policy. The ruling held that the district's parental notification policy, which requires staff to notify parents about changes to their minor child's official or unofficial records, is constitutional. Because FERPA guarantees that parents have a right to their child's records, this is again in alignment with a parent's constitutional right. We are unique in that we have a stipulated judgment against us, but California law is the same for us as in any other district. If this policy is lawful for other districts, it is also lawful for us. And the fact that several school districts have this policy in place without being, I know that's what the hesitation is being sued about it. It's already gone through the courts and deemed to be constitutional. Several other districts have it in place. Chino still has it in place. They're not being sued for it because it's constitutional. And parents have a right to know if their records are being changed of their child, if any child is requesting a change in their records. And no, it's not a outing policy. It doesn't mean if a teacher sees a child that is using a different name that they were going to immediately go report it to the parent. That's not how it works. I think there's a lot of confusion regarding it. The situation arises when the child requests a change to their records, and then the notification is triggered to the parents that a change was made to the record. And it's up to the parent. If they don't want to know what that change is, then they can just disregard the notice. If they do, because they have a right, according to FERPA, they have a right to their child's records, they can ask the school, contact the school to see what those changes were. I think that it's not okay to keep secrets from parents, and that's why I want to proceed with this policy. It's completely lawful, and there's no reason not to.
Well, I would just like to say that I stand by what I've said before. I strongly believe that parents need to be informed of changes to their child's school record. It's like Candy said, we can do it legally, we have the right wording, and we should do it. We could get sued for not informing parents, for that matter, if, in my opinion anyway, if something happens to their child and it's related to information we could have given them and we didn't. I think that puts us at least ethically in a situation where we don't need to be in, with simply telling them that their child requested to change records. And again, I wish too the public would have had the policy, because I think there's a lot of confusion, and we had changed it some, and the current status of the wording on it has been looked at and made sure it doesn't violate any current laws. So I'm always for parent notification, parent involvement whenever possible. And there's also the provision, of course, if a staff member feels that it would cause harm, immediate harm to the child, that they would then provide the support services as well as possibly file a child abuse report. So I just think it's in the best interests of families and family values and parents being able to intervene and provide love and support to their kids.
Well, I believe everything you're saying, and I do believe we need a parent notification policy. I believe everything you're saying. It was my understanding that the ruling that came down from the court, that there was a stay put on it, and
That's a different lawsuit. That's a completely different lawsuit. It's not about that policy. That's about Mirabelli versus Olson in the case that the school was requiring the teacher to lie. That's a different case completely. If you go look at the case regarding this specific policy in September 9 of 2024 in the Superior Court, it was deemed lawful. That's why it's still in place. They're still using it, as well as like 10 other districts.
I might have looked at the wrong thing then when I was looking. Because
Escondido case with Judge Benitez.
Yeah.
Yes, that went to the Ninth Circuit,
Yes.
and that they placed a stay on that. That's a different lawsuit. That is a
Okay,
lawsuit
okay.
where the school tried to force the teacher to lie to the parent.
Okay, so I was looking at the wrong thing.
It's a different thing. It's a different
so I'll
thing
have to go back
completely.
and look at that. I'll have to go back and read that because I guess I read the wrong thing. But
just for clarification, so the last that we spoke about this, which was a few months ago, there were, like, it started at one draft, and then there were several drafts. That's one point of clarification because I'm not sure if we're talking about the original draft or because I heard
that would have been
Jeanette also say that
yeah.
some changes.
Well, I had request from the president the original draft. I don't want a parent to have to opt in.
Part of the reason the copy wasn't attached is because the discussion piece would be to clarify how exactly the board would like to move forward.
Well, the one I requested should have been attached because that's what I requested to be placed on the agenda.
I'll take blame for that then because it wasn't an attachment that I thought needed to be on the agenda. I thought there would be a discussion to clarify how we want to move forward because the challenge that we had, and you've mentioned it, wherever draft we left off on, the OEG does present a different challenge than other districts. And we had, at the time, just to kind of give everybody the context, we were awaiting for word from the OEG as to what their opinion was on our policy compared to our judgment. We have not gotten that, from the OEG, but that's where we left off. The Mirabelli case, which was as recent as December 22nd or 23rd,
24th,
brought it back up to the surface because that ruling came down and said that a teacher cannot be held accountable for giving information to parents if a district feels like they violated some policy. Immediately the next day, there was an appeal filed by the AG of California, and then in January there was a stay put on that, which paused implementation of that. So barring that ruling, then we're back to where we were when we left off,
right?
Which is, I think, why you started with, with respect to that lawsuit.
Yeah, because this is specifically about this
and
policy.
so I would just say, bringing us all the way kind of full circle to where we left off, just confirming that we had a draft that we had worked on as a board, and then we wanted the opinion of OEG as far as how it relates to our mandates. That isn't different. We're still waiting.
Well, they're never going to. They're not going to say it's unconstitutional
I'm
because it's
just
not. So
making
I'm
sure
not
that we
going to wait all my life for the OAG to tell us that a policy, because they don't want us to pass it, but it's totally. Why, Michelle? Please, I can't even speak.
Please refrain from. Excuse me. Please refrain from. Yeah, she hears me.
This policy is lawful. There is at least 10 school districts implementing this policy. Chino still has it. They won their lawsuit. They took some language out that targeted transgender students. They removed that language and they left this language. And this is intact. It's constitutionally based and it's lawful. No one has been sued over this policy that I'm requesting to pass. That's why we could wait until the cows come home for the OAG to give us their opinion about the policy, but it's lawful. That they have nothing to say against it because you can't say it's unconstitutional. It's just notifying parents if there's a change in their child's records. That is your right, according to FERPA.
So the way we changed it, the edits that we made to it and the changes, that's been looked at? That has been looked at?
No, it's an OAG, isn't it?
No,
that has been looked at by this board, yes. Has
legal.
it been reviewed by the OAG?
And legal.
To an extent, maybe, but they haven't
it.
responded to us
Right.
as far as how it impacts specific language that they recommended.
legal recommended we change some language on another one of our policies.
So this policy impacts that policy, and we wanted to hear an opinion from OAG how that is either going to violate or not violate, and that's where we have not heard back from them.
Can we ask again?
We kept asking, remember, before Christmas,
Yes, I mean, we can.
Can we ask again and say, give us the
Can I get a word in? Because you guys have been carrying this entire conversation. I would like to know why we're going to go back to an original draft when we had
The one we worked on.
ones that we worked on. However, in the same conversation that you, or in the same meeting where you're accusing me of foreseeing, legal fees, how does this not tie into that?
What are you talking about? This is no one has been sued over this policy, Melissa. It's totally lawful.
Has Chino faced a 5010 lawsuit?
First of all, I just
asked a
explained
question.
it, Melissa.
I just asked a question.
This already went through the
It
court.
was a simple yes or no question.
They did go through the court. I just told you on
Exactly.
September 9 in
You said
2024.
they won their lawsuit, so they did.
They did win.
presented a 5010 policy,
And they
it was
won
challenged.
it for us. Okay,
that
so
does
they
not
won it for
mean
other school
that
boards.
there is not going to be litigation with a future policy for this district.
Why would someone challenge the same thing in the same court
Because you can sue anybody for anything,
for the
correct?
same law? Because a parent doesn't have a right to know if their child's
No, I'm
record
not
is
saying
changed?
it. Okay, so I'm not saying that. What I'm wondering is you just, like you said, I need to foresee, lawsuits,
Okay.
right? I need to see settlements. You're misrepresenting that 5010 is not something that could be sued over. Excuse me, I am still talking. What I'm trying to understand is you're saying it has nothing to do with LGBTQ students when someone that is, I would say, a supporter of you stood up at our podium just this evening and said that it was a policy for outing. They did say, you can go back and listen to it. They did say it. I heard it and I thought it was very... no.
Agree with everybody who might support me on everything?
No, but what I'm saying is there is some very different ideas of what this policy could be, and I'm worried
Just
that
records. That's it. Just records. A change in records. That's it. That's all it is.
it's not just like come
That's
on.
all it is.
Let's be honest.
That's all it is, Melissa. That's all it can be by law. Okay.
By law, exactly.
And that's
because
exactly
there have
what
been
we would
changes.
follow.
Because there have been changes and language changed because it is not lawful. You've changed it and you've manipulated it to where
I didn't change it.
It just like rides outside the scope of legal.
I didn't change anything.
You
This
don't know
went
that
through the
we're not going to
courthouse.
be, but that's the thing. We're about to lay off all these people, and you're okay with the possibility of a lawsuit being brought forth because of this policy. Where can somebody please tell me where are we being accused of parents saying that we're hiding? That's the thing. This secrecy thing you keep like promoting. No one is keeping secrets. That is a very false misrepresentation of the people and the work that this
Why is
district
it such
does.
a big deal? Why is it
Because
such
you're
a
giving
big
people
deal?
the impression that we're
First
hiding.
of all, we have a document in our system that specifically says don't tell the parents about a name change, okay? I showed it to Juan the other day. It's still on my website. You can go look at it, okay?
I have no interest in going to your website.
Well,
Why
then
can't
you
you
won't
give it to
learn
us?
something. It's on my website.
Why can't you give it to us? If this is something that is, if
It's a
that
big
policy
deal.
that
He
needs
went
to
to
be
go
changed,
try to find it. He wasn't
excuse
able to
me,
find it.
If it's something that needs to be changed, because this is the first I'm hearing about it, if it's something that needs to be changed, like other policies that we've discussed, then
Yeah.
we sit here and we like reevaluate them.
It's not a board policy. It was a...
You just said it was a policy.
I didn't say it was a policy. It's a procedure, Melissa. It's a
You did
procedure.
not say procedure. You said we had a policy and you showed it
Okay.
to Juan.
Well, sorry, I misspoke. It's not a policy. Otherwise, I'd be here saying, let's change our name change policy. It's a procedure through our district saying when a kid has a name change, do not inform the parent
let's have a
and do
conversation
not
about
document it. So we just don't need secrets, okay? There's no need for secrets in this
There are
district.
no secrets.
Obviously, that memo came from a reason because they don't want to involve parents in a name change, okay? The specific memo directs the staff to contact when a parent calls complaining about the name change that they didn't authorize, that the staff is to tell the student to go speak to the parents.
So then why don't we have a conversation about that then?
Well, he couldn't find where it was in the handbook. We couldn't locate the original source
if
of
it
that.
exists anymore, but-
I got it
But then
through a public
if it's
records
not
request.
an actively
I don't know where it is.
If it's not an actively practiced procedure,
How do you know?
Why?
They all got the memo. How do you know that's not being practiced
So
like
we can
that?
just make up hypothetical things all over
So
the
we
place.
should have a policy that if there's a change in your records, a parent should know.
So
I think
then
it's basic.
let's draft policies for, like, how about we draft a policy about how this board has really no governing entity.
I think that I've said what I wanted to say.
Juan, how long has that notification been established in the district? Do you know?
The current policy, I'd have to look at the date. I don't know. Definitely more than my tenure here.
Okay. Well, I'd rather wait to see what OAG has to say.
How long do you want to wait, though? We've been waiting.
Till we know. Things move slow, things move fast.
Well, I thought we as a group had decided. It was the meeting I was sick, but I thought you had told me, Juan, or someone, that the rest of you decided to wait until, I don't know, like December 13th or something. And oh, it was a
I don't think it
different
was
one.
a date. Yeah, I don't
That
think
was
it was a date.
that was the
mouse.
implementation of
Oh,
the
okay.
flag policy.
Okay. Any more discussion on this? Okay. All right. Discussion, and anybody else have anything? Yeah, I need to go back and look at that other one. I need to go back.
I
and
asked
look at
Michelle
that
what
one.
her thoughts
I
were.
don't know what that.
I've told you since I
Ruling.
became on this board, I told you about this case on September 9. I've
So-
told you guys about this since 2024.
I want to go look at that one again.
Okay, and then we'll talk about it.
But that's what I'm not understanding. So this is an entirely new conversation, because where we were is not where she wants to return to. Where she wants to go back to is the original. So this is just going to start everything all over.
The only thing I wanted to edit was the opt-in. I don't think a parent should have to opt in to be notified about a change in their child's records. I think it should just be automatic.
You just asked the superintendent to go back to your originally submitted draft, not the one that we had
Yeah, I
worked
know.
on.
That's what I just said. It's exactly what I just said.
Doesn't want the opt-in portion.
But there were more changes than just the opt-in.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
That's the only part that mattered to me about changing back. So any other little minor edits I don't care about. It was the having to have a parent actually go opt in to get notified if their child changes their record. I didn't like that part. I thought it should just be automatic. And if they want to opt out, they can just disregard the notice.
And I thought one of the audience members made a good point. It would cost less to just have it be a standard notification.
I would have to look into it. I don't know exactly.
Could we everybody tasked with looking at the policy that we changed. Look at the way we changed it. Does everybody have a copy of that?
Could you just send
We
it
can-
out again so
we
we
can-
make sure we're all
okay.
looking at the same thing?
Yes, I can send that again.
And then maybe send the way you would like it to be, and then we could look at it. And if you could send me that, or send that to everybody, so we could all look at
No,
that.
because if we're going to revisit policy changes, we need to do this out here.
Well, I'm saying look at it at home, on your time, and if you want it the way we ended up with, then that's fine. That's what we'll work on. And if you like the new way she just said, just to take that one thing out, we can figure that one out.
And I still want to wait to the OAG.
I would like to wait, and so I would suggest if you could reach out and just ask.
Yeah, as you are aware, we have new legal support. I can talk to her and see that we get that message to OEG this week.
Okay. With that, we are done at 10:25.